conditions. And in a good economic time, people are expanding more, using more of what we consult about, and they need our help to keep that expansion going properly. So yeah, we truly are, whereas most companies really are not, unless it's essential goods.
Yeah, no, it's so funny reading about all the different services and goods that are, recession proof, or, the stock market's recession proof. And, it's just crazy,
Come
but
on, that
your
doesn't make
model,
any sense.
yeah.
Right? Doesn't I had a franchise where they were doing a presentation. I just happened to be in the room. They were an eyelash company, and I thought they said they were recession proof. And I mean, come on. If there's
Yeah,
anything gets cut out when there's no money, it's stuff like that.
yeah. Luxury goods are always number one.
Of course.
Yeah, no, that's super fascinating. I even just think back to the pandemic with my father being a franchise owner, franchisee. That's exactly what they're looking for during those times, how to reduce their costs.
Right.
A lot of times people think, employment's how you reduce costs, but if there's an easier way to reduce your costs, it just makes sense.
Well, see, that's our message to our clients. You can cut costs by cutting employees or essential things that you do, but that harms your business.
Mm,
Recovering from that is not easy, and it may even be
right.
detrimental and cause big harm. Whereas if you cut some costs in these other areas, just because you're overpaying and don't realize it, there's errors in your bills, you're over provisioned, or you just don't have the right prices. Now you're affecting bottom line without affecting anything essential at all.
Mm.
That's our main message to our clients.
No, that's a really strong model, and it's just really attractive for everyone. Do you guys work with a lot of other franchisees with your model?
You mean as clients?
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Any type of business. And, certainly if you think about a franchisee and you look at the expenses they might have uniforms, they're going to have office supplies, they might have
yeah.
waste, they might have merchant services, they might have telecom. We do all those things. So, yes, absolutely. Either franchisee or groups of franchisees or even the franchisor.
No, that's awesome. Right away you think you help from a numbers perspective, but you also help from that people and culture perspective, and really just give people that full rundown of how their expenses work. When you guys walk into an operation, you mentioned you're working on 50 different services. Do you focus
15,
on what's that?
15, not 50. So
15.
I don't want to mislead anybody.
15 services, everyone, which is still a lot.
A lot,
However,
yes.
do you go in focused on all those services at once? Is there one or two services that you focus in on, then you focus in on the others, or what does that look like?
It really depends on what the business wants. I mean, some businesses, they just want us to look at all of it and just save me as much as you can. Others want to start with one or two and say, look, show me what you can do with waste, show me what you can do with telecom, and then we'll talk about bringing on two or three at a time over the next year or two. We're fine
Yeah.
either way. Now, a lot of times, some businesses will have certain of the expenses and not others. So we do determine this type of business. We have a conversation with them, which ones are most important to you, and let's start with that and focus there. There's all kinds of different conversations that take place.
Hmm. That's super interesting. And, kind of shifting gears a little bit to the territory model, typically, like we said, McDonald's, Subway, it's very easy to figure out what a territory is. How do you figure out a territory in kind of business to business consulting model?
Well, in our world, that's what we were wrestling with when we first started 25 years
Yeah.
ago. We were just doing telecom and we were trying to set out territories because every franchise has territories. And
Mhm.
then we realized, wait a minute now, telecommunications transitions borders or transcends borders by its definition. I mean, that's what it is. And so
Yeah.
we realized we didn't want to say to somebody, you can have a client in Cleveland, but you can't do the branch in Toronto or Seattle or Denver. That didn't make any sense. So we
Right.
actually don't have territories at all. So any of our franchisees can get clients
Wow.
anywhere in the United States or Canada. And that's a pretty big benefit because it says wherever my opportunities lead me, that's where I'm going to go. If you
Yeah.
got referral sources somewhere else or companies or a vacation home or multi-location clients, whatever it is. So we don't have territories. What we do is we have a registry system to protect their clients and their prospects. So they're still protected and yet they've got no restriction geographically.
Yeah, that's an impressive model where you're not really restricted. It is an insanely scalable model, and
It
it
is.
makes sense for everyone. And
Yep.
when it comes down to, territory, not a territory, the worst thing, a franchisee can do is give away a franchise to someone that is unmotivated.